Maneva na se ma Pen Dream TV. Pen Dream TV de o se dem yopo.
Mema wakwaba ede ba Pen Dream TV so make sure say obe subscribe to channel no click bell so say the news to our sabit me aka ntem no watie afa so make sure say obe like na wa comment no share ama afoforo so nsaka na comment section ho so no opese wo kire wa adwen obetimi ede wadwen kire ato honom na amanfo so anya bia kenkan na onim say Pen Dream TV de eye nsem a ekoso wo Ghana yam politics mu ne ede ba na yasaka ya ne ede abranti na so me video a nsaka pese no che na ede ba no nti memo modern astro so obehwe video we amana si awie na wa kire wa adwen e comment section na se video.
But let me say that in one breath, I must admit that after listening to the State of the Nation address, one thing came to mind, that the president is not out of touch with Ghanaians. And why do I say that? I say that because Boko has been out of my purview for a bit, personally. Though I hear accounts of stories and things happening in Boko and the likes of Oti, I think personally it had been out of my purview, and I haven't been paying particular attention to that. And I think that the president brought the issue to the country and to remind the country that we have some conflicts within our country. And then he went further to show us that he is very much concerned about ECOWAS as a bloc. And he showed, the contributions that have been made to our security services. And I think that is monumental. And I really appreciate the added infrastructure and added equipment and gear to our security services, and I'm stating the likes of Defense Minister and what he's done. I'm stating the likes of the former Interior Minister and the contributions he also has done for the security services. And let me also state that I think that overall, speaking of employment, which the minority spoke about, the security services, to some extent, though not the quantums Ghanaians would love, I think over the past 7 years have employed quite a bit of our brothers and sisters and cousins and nieces into the army, into customs, into immigration, into fire service and all of that. And personally, I'm always getting phone calls, text messages, and demands for people who wish to join the security services. So if not at all, I think that the president should have also added the fact that the security services has become a bit attractive, more attractive. Interestingly, in the US, they beg people to join the army. They beg people to join the security services. But we are in a country where maybe because of the challenges of our unemployment, people rather are rushing into the security services. I've seen recruiters for American Army, and when they tell you the challenges they have in getting young men and women to join the army, sometimes it's interesting, and I wish we had the reverse in Ghana, where people were not even excited. But I think that part of what the NPP has done is to make the security services a bit more attractive. So I think that based on that alone, and the fact that the president also came down to earth and admitted that there are challenges, and I love the fact that he's been a leader and saying that, listen, I take full responsibility. He didn't shy away from that. And I think that is remarkable that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo says that, hey, despite all the challenges, the buck stops at my desk, and I'm fully responsible for everything that has happened. And he laid little, as you rightly said, blame on the COVID, Russia, Ukraine, and all the other regional and global issues. He said that Ghanaians should be patient with him, and he will accept the blame, which is also quite good from my experience with a former president who was as he said, the phrase I remember him by is Ojuanfu. He was hearing nothing, see no evil, hear no evil. But this is rather a president who, in his major address to the nation, admits that there are issues. I take responsibility for them, and we will rise again. And I think that for me shows that he's in touch. And then moving on to or into the SONA, I love the fact that he made mention that some road infrastructural development documents were made available to Parliament for us to peruse last time, and he won't revisit that. However, the government is working actively on a tracker for the various projects that government has done, and that it will show timelines, it will show actual locations for people to verify on their own, and I think that this is remarkable use of technology, and he stated that there'll be enough detail for everybody to peruse and come to an appreciation of the things that government has done. Knowing the need to show and tell, or to show working, as some people say, I think that the tracker, hopefully, I don't know when it's going to be finally launched, but I think that when it comes, it will be a major blow to those who say they see nothing. I, for one, recently drove to Kwewu, and I see the active work happening on the Nsawam-Pokwasi Road. Granted, it's not at a pace that I really would wish. I wish it was
before you go to Nsawam, how did you find the road?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That I really would have wished that the pace was much faster, based on what I know elsewhere, and I think that more focus is needed on this road, because it's a major thing and a major headache in terms of the traffic still between there and Nsawam, and in fact damage to our cars, because some of the potholes in that thing is quite heavy. But I really think that many people are seeing that, and really, I'm praying to the Almighty God that within the next 3 months, we can see some major improvement, to the extent that based on this major improvement, that people see what their dollar or cedi is being used for. Now, beyond that, he stated education and the fact that 7 STEM schools are operational, and Fifi would agree to me that Felix. I always get you and your secretary mixed up. Felix would agree that the STEM schools are quite heavy, much heavier than the E blocks, and I always say that one STEM school is about 20 E blocks combined. And if we have 7 of these operational, then you're looking about 7 times 2, about 140 E blocks put together. And that, for me, is a huge investment in education, and is remarkable. And people should visit. I've seen one in Abomusu, fantastic. And it's such a departure from the old. And I think that even the equipments in the school alone, we must admit, high-end, top-end and now our TVET infrastructure is very much bigger than Ghana Toyota in terms of the equipment, and these are very powerful things. So I think the sooner, if you do a careful reading of the things that the president said, he really captures his 7 years in office. And I think that he outlines also 2 or 3 things that he wishes to work on and complete before he leaves office. And I think that he mentioned Kumasi, the airport in Kumasi, and I believe that for me is exciting, because I think 2 weeks ago the new finance minister made mention of the fact that payment has been released to ensure that work on the Kumasi airport, which now I know will be named after Prempeh the First, has been worked on assiduously. And beyond that, he also added, I believe, one more project. I don't remember which one, but that he would want to also commission. And I believe that these are powerful things, in addition to all the many things that we are looking at. But by and large, for good or bad reasons, I am happier because I made a strong argument that La General definitely will see some facelift. And this I did in Parliament. And for him to make mention of the $7.5 million made available to commence the work at the La General Hospital, for me, makes me happy, because any health infrastructure added to Greater Accra region reduces the burden of the average Ghanaian. And I'm excited that La General finally, whether for good or bad reasons, has seen itself in the budget, in a very important official document. And I'm hoping that once this work has commenced, whether the MPP or the NDC next year, La General still must go on. And that is why continuity in governance is very important. So by and large, I think that the president, did what I was expecting. One, he showed that he knows his country. He knows what the challenges are. He's taking responsibility. Some were begging that he take responsibility. He's done it. And I think that, yes, saw the reshuffle bit, got delayed, but, better late than never. That's what the adage says. So by and large, I think that the president has done well. He's covered a lot of grounds, and if people peruse it, I think is a well thought out document, and he's in touch with Ghanaians, and he admits that we are down but not out.